All right. Thank you, Dr. Grissom, for the lectures. Overall, very insightful, very well done, and covered a lot of material. I had some issues kind of getting started with this one. I sat down this morning because I wanted to really watch it and do it. A, because I probably procrastinated, but B, because I wanted to watch it also right before lecture so that I could go into lecture with it being fresh in my brain. Sometimes when I watch things kind of a while before, like a couple of days or a day, it's not as fresh. And when I go into the lecture, I'm like, oh, he did say that in the video, or oh, he did. And I forget a lot of things and it comes back or it doesn't come back. So I wanted to try something new this morning and I woke up early. There's a lot of videos, very long, but overall, very well done. And you kind of took your time, and I appreciate that. Something that always helps me with your videos is you take your time, you don't rush anything. In fact, a lot of other professors kind of run through them. I appreciate being long because it kind of lets me go step by step, even though you told us not to code step by step with you. I did want to kind of see how you did everything, so it kind of helps my brain not to necessarily code beside you or next to you, but to see it on my computer in my Visual Studio and then kind of see how it is kind of conversely changes. So yeah, so enough just blabber. I want to talk about what kind of the videos encompasses. So obviously you provided us with some example code. I looked over that. That kind of helped with the M5 example code. Looked at it through implementing. I'm sorry, still trying to get over this cold. Obviously I implemented right here. I put it back in here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I actually transferred it over so you can see all the sample code. This is below. And project code, I should probably separate that. My OCD kind of goes a little nuts seeing it without it being in these files, but I think throughout working through the videos, I was moving stuff around, so I need to reorganize that, which I'll do later. But as you can see, kind of going over what you talked about in class was just overall talking about the text. You talked about implementing, you actually showed us how to implement all the different parts with the painting, all this implementation of the theme. You went over that. You went over the import, obviously. But more crucial and more, because this is all stuff we learned in app development in that course, and I love that course. I took over summer, and it kind of helped me get used to Flutter and Dart, but we learned all that. But seeing you do it kind of refreshed it. So I appreciate that. Another thing was kind of talking about the different platforms that we had to work with. So you talk about Build Gradle, and you talk about just the different interfaces and exceptions we had to do and plugins. Yeah, and we had to implement that in our code. A big one was our Android manifest. We don't need necessarily all the fluff of these, but they do help the comments. But we don't need it sometimes. And you talk about just application, kind of what to add, and kind of what helps us get administered. Or for you, it's kind of funny because you're like doing it and you had to kind of get administrative rights when we're doing the pep spec and implementing this. And as you can see, removed all the comments. It is much easier to understand and kind of dummies it down for me, which I need, because it shows me everything and we could kind of dummy it down a little bit more. But yeah, it just kind of makes it easier, more visually comprehensible for me, and I think probably a majority of people. We added the Flutter Blue, the permission handler, all that. Let's go over here. So I thought it was interesting, the Flutter Blue. I want to try the Plus. I know we talked about it, and I think it's kind of cool, and I kind of want to try it and see the difference. As you're talking, it's more of an updated version that's been continuously updated. As you said, Flutter Blue was updated, I think 12 months ago. Yeah. So this one's more continuous and 4 days ago. So it's definitely been kept up to date, which is nice and isn't outdated. As you were saying, you want to see it kind of more implemented in the package rather than us having to go to this package library and add it on manually, but rather just be added on to the Flutter package in its overall state. Being adding of Bluetooth permissions as well and a manifest, which we have here, and we kind of go, or you go over, I should say, all of this information and kind of show us how to um, give the permissions and implement it. This was a survey, which has to be, yeah, take it or not. Uh, but overall, the main concepts that I took from it was basically understanding Dart again, understanding this basic application that you've come up with and seeing it again, and using it, and then also implementing it into kind of Bluetooth and corresponding it to our project and M5 core processor, and then being able to see how it kind of Bluetooth server between it being on our mobile device and being able to Bluetooth it to the Arduino, and vice versa, and be able to disconnect it and use these two platforms to kind of show and demonstrate the Bluetooth feature. As you can see, I tried running it, it worked, and it was a process to get to work. To start this video, I had to, let me see if I was still up. Yeah, it works right now, but I literally was doing it with your prior videos, and it was perfectly fine. But then I came in this morning, and I don't know what happened, but I was getting a message for Java implementation, and I had to transfer everything over, delete files, repath. But overall, I got it working. So watching the videos this morning was a blessing, because now I go into lecture, and it's actually done and works. So overall, very insightful video. Hopefully this is enough of a demonstration of me watching videos. I could even go for each video. Let me see. All right. Do the last one. I have obviously the completed code. I have the last video here. But overall, I could kind of just look it over. So the first one, you just kind of initialize us into it, get us started, showing us text features, go more in depth of the client and building the Bluetooth on the platform we created, which would be, I'm trying to think of the name of it, the file Bluetooth ESP32 demo. Creating it on this file so that we could demonstrate it on our mobile device and connect it to the mobile device, and using Android Studio, which I was doing an update. So you finish that. I was doing a little update while this was completing, because I wanted to try something new. But I had it on this one, and so basically was just kind of going along and seeing how it was implemented on our demonstration platform, and then seeing on you, it transferred over to the mobile device, which is your Android, the newest one, and then went over client permissions and kind of all that, which is shown, and our Gradle and our manifests and all of that. We did that step by step, and that kind of helped. Never really dived into that, so it's kind of interesting, and overall understanding of permissions and analyzing, kind of just working through it. Honestly, seeing you work through it kind of helped, because a lot of it for me is getting my brain to kind of problem solve. Because overall, like, at this point in our education, we have an understanding, or should have an understanding, of core concepts and coding algorithms and etc. It's just kind of figuring out how to make our brain work to problem solve. Is a lot of it, for me at least. I can't speak on everybody else. I'll just speak on my behalf. Is a lot of it. So understanding how to do these interfaces and seeing you do it kind of makes my brain kind of process in the same way or similar way. Not obviously same way, because you're a PhD and I'm going for a bachelor's. But overall understanding and you relaying it to me makes me better process the information. And overall, a lot of videos, very long, but I feel like I retained a good amount of it, and I feel like me kind of not taking notes was helpful because I could have my Visual Studio open and see hand by hand by hand. So I kind of like this new style of learning, and instead of taking notes, doing this. So I hope this video suffices as me knowing the information, watching the videos, and overall showing you that. If you want more information or want me to drop notes, I will 100%. But I will send you over the YouTube link to this, and I'll head over to class. So thank you, Dr. Grissom. Appreciate everything. God bless. Bye bye.